I get it.
UAMS got that grant for that nanotube fiasco, and
yeah,
you know, and
they got all that
money.
money.
Under this clause, did they get double that now because of this law?
Yes, I don't know, but I know one thing. When I was still living there, they had they were raising money, and one thing that came in the paper was the what was it? The Rockefeller Foundation gave him a bunch of million, and then they raised other money through grants and donation, but they only raised 45 million. And they needed, and I don't know if you have that in that bill that says what they can use the matching funds for, but they needed another 50 million to just complete the building for the cancer research. That wasn't even going into the cost of research, it's just the building. I don't know what the matching funds are for. Do you know in that bill?
Well, yeah, well, let's see. It says, be it enacted by the General Assembly of the State of Arkansas, Act to create UAMS Cancer Research Center Matching Fund. Section 1, Arkansas Code Title 19, Chapter 5, Subchapter 12 is amended to add an additional section to read as follows. 9/5/1230, UAMS Cancer Research Center Matching Fund. A, there is created on the books of the Treasurer of State, the Auditor of State, and the Chief Fiscal Officer of the State, a miscellaneous fund to be known as the UAMS Cancer Research Center Matching Fund. B, the fund shall consist of such revenue as may be authorized by law, in other words, us. The fund shall be used as matching funds for the construction of and endowments for the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences Cancer Research Center. D, the Chief Fiscal Officer of the state shall release funds to the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences on a matching basis in an amount equal to the amount of grants and donations received as cash equivalent, or in-kind property pledge, enforced by binding written agreement. The period for which grants and donations shall be counted for matching purposes shall be January 1 of 2007 through June 30 of 2009. The release of funds shall be upon documentation demonstrating that the matching requirements have been met. A documentation shall be signed by Chancellor of UAMS. Requests for the review of funds may be made on a quarterly basis and pending a favorable review of documentation by Chief Fiscal Officer.
Okay. And we got another break coming up, and I have a few complaints.
Yeah. Right.
All right. We are back to continue on the legal nonsense and the legal, manipulation of the facts and misinformation, because they're always generic on the use of the funds. Basically, he requesting money of the state, and Arkansas is not a wealthy state, okay, and there are a lot of things that money, tax money, could be used for. He's asking to use it for the medical school research, and it's very confusing what the use is for. Okay, so what else is written there?
And for other purposes. That's the big one. That's the one I like, other purposes.
Yeah, what? The building, which is, nobody needs it. See, what happened is, why do you have to have a $95 million building? Because that's what happens. When I was still in Arkansas, what happened was, they said from the Rockefeller Foundation and other sources, they have raised 45 million, but they needed 50 more. Why would, in order to do the research, you need a $95 million building? Why do you need that? I don't see that. And that's what they're trying to tell me. Well, you don't have a building like that. You don't have a whole staff of physicians working. So obviously your research and Inc. research cannot be valid at all. You don't need that kind of money. All you need is knowledge of science and doing an honest job. So,
and
for other purposes.
A lot of ostentatious display, too. That always helps.
Well, that's MD Anderson, you know. MD Anderson has all these very thick shag rugs in the area where the doctors are, and it has all this marble on the walls, gold trimming, and all from donation of people that have been killed at MD Anderson, and the relative left money to help other people. And so what they do, they use it at the entrance to look like it's such a glitzy building, but I don't think UAMS has that glitzy of a building. And the other thing about the matching funds is UMS is in an area where there is really not much room for expansion, and they have a lot of older houses near the hospital for people that worked in the hospital years ago I guess in the 40s, I don't know. They're older homes. And they're trying to expand, pay them next to nothing and just get those houses. So some people are basically donating the houses that can be torn down and then has more room for the medical school. Well, with the matching fund things is somebody's donating the land, and they can also get cash as a matching fund. So Arkansas loses twice.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
You know, something else I just noticed. I mean, it's not really a big part about it, but you know, the time window that these people are talking about, January 1 of 07 through June 30 of 09. Now, apparently this bill didn't go forward until into 07. So, in other words, when they brought this bill before the people to approve it, it's like, hey, we're already in this time window that we're talking about. So it wasn't about something in the future. It was about, so it makes me wonder, I wonder if some big grant that was on the way they knew about, they had to go ahead and secure this matching fund first to maximize, I don't know. But yeah, I
think they needed money to do something because they figure I was progressing and they needed money to progress. But you know, the point here is universities are paid researchers. They are not paid to accomplish much of anything in any fast pace. They're just paid a professional. Why do you think that when they say we got this new discovery but we need to do testing and it's going to take another 20 years? Because the people involved in research wanted to make it a lifetime profession till they retire. That's why they say it's 20 years. It doesn't take 20 years. It didn't take us that much time. It took us a lot of time and 26 years fighting the medical, trying to work with them. And it wasn't until the point that I realized there was no working with the medical establishment. I had to find a way to do it myself. And Lase meeting did it without money. The only, you can call it donation, were from the patient that came for treatment. That's the donation to the system and to the progress of the company, and that's what they're trying to stop because we are an enormous threat. And that's why they keep attacking as well. You are claiming that you can kill cancer without any side effect, without any suffering, without any chance of spreading. You are claiming, who are you? We are the great expert, and we know that that is not possible. In spite of all the evidence all over the world, people are doing research, copying what we have been doing for years, and saying, yes, this works. No, it does not. You have to have chemo. You have to have radiation. You have to be continuing the way we are doing it because that's the only way to keep cancer away.
Well, you remember what Dr. Sanjay said? She said that you make more money than a surgeon.
Right. Yeah.
That was a while back.
That's what she said. And she said, this is the corporation that charges the money with employees, with expenses that keep mounting, and now with all the law problem and having to have different attorney because they're all double crossing us. Oh. Jeez.
I'm telling you, though, I mean, now, don't it just slightly look like just a little bit, well, let me put it a different way. There ain't no chance that Lord Snake has got any kind of outside influences or puppet strings I mean, he's suing you fair and square, right? He ain't under no kind of ulterior control or nothing, is it?
Oh, yeah, right. That's why he's lying through his teeth for everything he says, and there are all distortion. Yeah, there are no interest. Well, the bill he passed showed it.
That's just my question. I mean, don't it look like a conflict of interest?
Absolutely. And
I mean,
why
come
nobody
on.
else is... It's just this guy by his own interest. And, okay, well, what about his political career? Okay? Did you find out anything about that? Did he run for the latest elections?
No, I ain't found nothing on him running for no recent election. I did find one thing. I can't rightly remember exactly where it was because I thought this House bill thing was a little bit bigger of a bomb to go off. But he did. He was involved at one point in this fight to end term limits. That apparently he didn't like the idea of the term limits that they place on Arkansas legislators, and he was trying to get him to extend it. And a lot of people.
And it had nothing to do with his own interest, right?
No, I mean,
and that had nothing.
Well, I mean, come on now. There's a med school counting on me. You know, I got to keep. I got to keep my job. Because the next guy that might not help him as much as I did.
Yeah, that might be the reason why, they're even more, because for years and years, the medical school in Little Rock, they knew we existed, but they weren't really worried about what we were doing at all, and their comment was, you cannot do anything without us. So, they were not worried. And, we demonstrated that we could do it anyway. We went to Mexico at one point, and then it's FDA that told us, what are you going to Mexico for? All you need is to find a doctor that works with you. That's why they've been trying to remove all the doctors that have ever worked with us, and removing from an excuse and another without saying is because they were working for us. It just started as stupid excuses and removing them so we could not operate, and they could jump on me, oh, you are practicing medicine without a license, so you're guilty. Well, first of all, I'm not practicing medicine, and I hate medicine. The only reason why I'm working on this side of the effort is because nobody else will, and I need to prove the results, and the results are there. As much as they try to cover them up, they exist. And that's why I did this. But it's not my intention. I'm a CEO of Lase Medinc, and that's what I want to be. Continue to just be the CEO, just as plenty of effort as it is. I do not want to treat patients anymore. I did it to get the results we needed. We have them. And more are coming in with all the patients we have treated. So I don't have to do that. But see, that's what they're doing. They're trying to bug the company with all these inane law expenses. Now there is still one lawsuit remaining, so it's still an output of money and saying, you're just so much money, you don't have anything. We're not charging anything of significance because of all the companies that do even alternative treatment. They all cost a lot more than what we charge. Now, the reason why some of the treatment cost almost, not even close, but more than other alternative treatment is because patients wait forever to come to us. There's such advanced cases that 5 days of treatment are not enough. We have to do more because of their advanced condition. But if they came at what we consider an early stage, it's not an early stage because a tumor that is 3 inches is not an early stage for standard treatments or even for alternative. It's not considered early stage. We do consider very early because it doesn't take that much to treat it. 2-3 inches is not that big of a deal. So.
Oh, no.
Well, I guess, oh, no, we got to continue next week on this because we got to the end of today. And we couldn't even give out awards.
That hot cup of coffee's going to get cold now.
Yeah, it's going to get cold. It's going to have to wait till next week. Okay, but thanks for calling, and we'll continue this next week because I know that there is more, I'm sure.
Oh, I kind of figured you'd be interested in finding out about that one, though, because
conflict of interest, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The missing link is here. Okay.
All right, well, you have a good week here.
You too. Everybody have a good week, and we'll see everybody again next Saturday.
Thank you for listening to The Medical Conspiracy with Dr. Carpenter.